The more I learn about biology, and any science for that matter, the more I not really realize, but confirm the idea of information evolution. Because the very act of questioning science is utilizing science. Like half the time, that's what science is. Science is the study of natural occurrences and just nature in general. And we have so many examples of us being course corrected, yet so many people still make these finite statements about what can't be done. We look at how far we've come as a species, and people are still talking about what is impossible and can't be done and can't be this, can't be that. The example that sparked this thought is the removal of some of the B vitamins. And I was wondering why they were removed, because like they were skipped the way some of the numbers were skipped for making iPhones. Like how there's no iPhone 9. They have their reasons, but it's just that's the case. With the B vitamins, I have not memorized all of them, but essentially there's no B4, B8, B10, or B11. The reason is because originally, like initially, they were considered vitamins, as you would expect. But sometime later, it was decided that it turned out those vitamins, we don't have to acquire them from external sources. So they're no longer considered vitamins. But what's interesting is just thinking, that means there was a time when science not only suggested that they were vitamins and required for what am I trying to say? It was required for us to acquire them from external sources. At one point, that was the original belief. But per course correction, upon further studying, because that's the one thing that is constantly being done in science, is something is constantly being studied. There's always something being studied. Obviously, that's what science means. But I just want to emphasize that. But like I said about the B vitamins, there was a point when they were considered vitamins. it sounds very basic, but like actually listen to what I'm saying. There was a point when people considered them vitamins, and now they are not, for the reason that they're not considered vitamins anymore. So with all that being said, science, which is the study of, is constantly being course corrected. So again, when people make these finite statements about what can't be done and what's impossible, what's irreversible, and what's, look at how far we've come as a species. The things we've invented, done with our bodies, etc., etc. You have to... It's just foolish of a statement to make. It's bold and foolish to talk about something being impossible, like on a we haven't done it yet level. I'm not talking about something that's like really like there's actual impossible, and then there's just hard. And people like to call hard things impossible. Like, impossible is me literally lifting a mountain, which I guess it also depends on the definition of a mountain, because can a mountain be small? But basically, a tall mountain, a mountain range, let's say it's a mountain range, and I want to pick it up with my bare hands. I can train to, toward becoming the strongest man alive. I can train toward that. But then, I personally cannot pick up a mountain with my bare hands, especially since the mountain itself, now I'm getting into semantics, but the mountain itself would likely crumble under its own weight. It's not even gonna have the is it tenacity? Would that apply to this situation? Or would it just be like tensile strength? Basically, a mountain would collapse under its own weight if it were lifted. Let alone by something as small as me compared to it. But I digress on that. Then, like I said, there's difficult, which people like to call impossible, because it hadn't been done before. And this is especially in like fields that are heavily scientific, like the medical field. I know that kind of sounds strange, because technically everything has a science to it. But it's like, look at there was a time when people made paintings without a reference photo. Think about that for a second. People made paintings that looked like realism paintings without a reference photo. You know how many artists, and I'm not saying using a reference photo is bad. in any way, shape, or form. I'm just saying, how often are you painting? To paint an entire landscape down to details, like Bob Ross, and I'm not knocking Bob Ross. I'm just saying, his work, at least in, the videos, was a little bit more simplified. Like, it wasn't, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't the hours long. It was like a 30-minute to an hour session of painting. But the hours long, you know what I'm saying? And the large ones too, like down to the details. People did that. And that's just paintings. Like there's still buildings that they haven't figured out how they were built. I'm talking about the pyramids, yes. Impossible. If you want to talk about something impossible, make sure you're not just talking about something difficult.